Deuteronomy at a glance. Focus and reference. First sermon. Between 1 verse 1 and 4 verse 4. Second sermon. 4 verse 4. 2. 27 verse 1. Third sermon. 27 verse 1 through 2. 34 verse 12. Division. Review of God's acts for Israel. Exposition of the Decalogue, or 10 Commandments. Ceremonial laws. Civil laws. Social laws. Ratification of covenant. Palestinian covenant. Transition of covenant mediator. Topic: What God has done. Historical. What God expected of Israel. Legal. What God will do. Prophetical. Location: Plains of Moab. Time: circa 1 month. When the events recounted in Deuteronomy occurred. Abraham, 2000 BC. 1440 BC. 1400 BC. David, 1000 BC. Part 1. Moses' first sermon. What God has done for Israel. Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 1 to chapter 4 verse 43. The preamble of the covenant. Deuteronomy 1 verses 1 to 5. 2. The review of God's acts for Israel. Deuteronomy 1 verse 6 to 4 verse 43. A. From Mount Sinai to Kadesh. Deuteronomy 1 verse 6 to 18. B. At Kadesh. Deuteronomy 1 verse 19 to 46. C. From Kadesh to Moab. Deuteronomy 2 verse 1 to 23. D. Conquest of East Jordan. Deuteronomy 2 verse 24 to 3 verse 29. E. Transition of leadership. Deuteronomy 3 verse 21 to 29. F. Summary of the covenant. Deuteronomy 4 verse 1 to 43. Part 2. Moses' second sermon. What God expects of Israel. Deuteronomy 4 verse 44. 2. 26 verse 19. The introduction to the law of God. Deuteronomy 4 verse 44 to 49. Part 2. Moses' second sermon. What God expects of Israel. Deuteronomy 4 verse 44. 2. 26 verse 19. Number 2. The exposition of the Decalogue, or 10 Commandments. Deuteronomy 5 verse 1. 2. 11 verse 32. A. The covenant of the great king. Deuteronomy 5 verse 1 to 33. B. The command to teach the law. Deuteronomy 6 verse 1 to 25. C. The command to conquer Canaan. Deuteronomy 7 verse 1 to 26. D. The command to remember the Lord. Deuteronomy 8 verse 1 to 20. E. The commands about self-righteousness. Deuteronomy 9 verse 1 to 10-11. F. The commands regarding blessings and cursings. Deuteronomy 10 verse 12 to 11:32. Part 2. Moses' second sermon. What God expects of Israel. Deuteronomy 4 to 44 through to 26 verse 19. Number 3. The exposition of the additional laws. Deuteronomy 12 verse 1 through to 26 verse 19. A. The exposition of the ceremonial laws. Deuteronomy 12 verse 1 through to 16 verse 17. B. The exposition of the civil laws. Deuteronomy 16 verse 18 through to 20 verse 20. C. The exposition of the social laws. Deuteronomy 21 verse 1 through to 26 verse 19. Part 3, Moses' third sermon. What God will do for Israel. Deuteronomy 27 verse 1 to 34 verse 12. 1. The ratification of the covenant in Canaan. Deuteronomy 27 verse 1 to 28 verse 68. A. Erection of the altar. Deuteronomy 27 verse 1 to 8. B. Admonition to obey the law. Deuteronomy 27 verse 9 to 10. C. Proclamation of the cursed. Deuteronomy 27 verse 11 to 26. D. Warnings of the covenant. Deuteronomy 28 verse 1 to 68. Part 3, Moses' third sermon. What God will do for Israel. Deuteronomy 27 verse 1 to 34 verse 12. 2. The institution of the Palestinian covenant. Deuteronomy 29 verse 1 to 30 verse 20. A. The covenant is based on the power of God. Deuteronomy 29 verse 1 to 9. B. Parties of the covenant. Deuteronomy 29 verse 10 to 15. C. Warnings of the covenant. Deuteronomy 29 verse 16 to 30 verse 10. D. Ratification of the Palestinian covenant. Deuteronomy 30 verse 11 to 20. Part 3, Moses' third sermon. What God will do for Israel. Deuteronomy 27 verse 1 to 34 verse 12. 3. The transition of the covenant mediator. Deuteronomy 31 verse 1 to 34 verse 12. A. Moses charges Joshua and Israel. Deuteronomy 31 verse 1 to 13. B. God charges Israel. Deuteronomy 31 verse 14 to 21. C. The book of the law is deposited. Deuteronomy 31 verse 22 to 30. D. The Song of Moses. Deuteronomy 32 verse 1 to 47. E. The death of Moses. Deuteronomy 32 verse 48 to 34 verse 12.